Hey everybody, welcome to another game of APBA baseball. A little while ago I did a one-off game just to get back in the swing of playing APBA baseball. It was the 1986 ALCS Game 1, and then I had a couple comments for people asking if I could continue the series. So figured why not take a break from the White Sox replay again with Stratomatic and go to APBA, put a game of APBA out there. And actually with the Merino boards, APBA is a lot more fun to me than what the General Basic was. And after watching a few more of Tabletop Earl's Milwaukee Brewer replays, it's kind of got me in the mood again to play APBA. So this is Game 2 of the ALCS. And in the replay, Boston won the first game. In real life, California won the first game. And I believe Boston won the second game. So it would be tied 1-1 after 2 games in real life. If we're going to have that situation now, then California will need to win. Pitching for the Red Sox will be Bruce Hurst, and he is a number 13 on his card. He also has an X, Y, and a Z. And going for the Angels will be right-hander Kirk McCaskill. He is a 13, and he's got an X. And these, again, are the as-played lineups. So Bruce Hurst is going to start things off against Rick Burleson. And actually, Rick Burleson is the DH in this game. Kind of a very strange lineup. Gene Mauch would DH Rick Burleson. He just doesn't sound like a DH kind of person, but he's going strictly right-handed with his lineup, except for Wally Joyner. Everybody else is right-handed, which means Rupert Jones is on the bench. It means Rob Wilfong's on the bench, and it means Reggie Jackson's on the bench. So if we look at the bench players available for the Angels, should the Red Sox bring in a righty or whatever, you got Reggie Jackson on the bench, Rob Wilfong, Jack Howell, Rupert Jones, Jerry Narron, and Devon White. Those are all on the bench and available for the Angels should the need arise. So we'll see how things go, see if, in fact, Gene Mauch was smart in putting these right-handers in there against the lefty Bruce Hurst. Now, in this case, looking at Burleson, he's a -5 against lefties, so maybe not the swiftest move, but that's what, I guess he's playing the percentages, so-called percentages. So we'll see what happens here. This first pitch of the game is with a 33, so a double. You can't go wrong with that, right? 33 is a 0, so Burleson will get on board automatically. It's a 41. That's a 7, so that's a base hit for Rick Burleson. So Rick Burleson right away, a base hit. And let's see, he's only a C11 stealer, so he only stole 1 base all season. So he's not going to go anywhere. But he will be on first base for Wally Joyner. And we'll flip to the runner on first base page in the Merino boards. And see what Wally Joyner can do, lefty on lefty. 53 is a 19. If we go to 19... 19 is the third baseman, and it's in the shaded area, which means we are checking just the third baseman's fielding, not the team fielding. So the third baseman, Boggs, is a 5, which means he is a fielding number 1. Even though the Red Sox are fielding 2 overall, he's a fielding number 1. And the fielding number 1, that's an out, 5-3, with a runner going to second. If he'd have been a fielding 2 or 3, it would have been a base hit. But since it's in the shaded area, he makes the out. So Boggs makes the play. Now Burleson does go to second. So, and for those that are unfamiliar, I'll show this to you on the Merino boards. The fielding's right here, but when you get these shaded areas, you drill down to the specific player who's being checked and use their rating, not the team rating. Since we're doing third base, we come over here, Wade Boggs, a third baseman that's rated a 5. Is considered fielding 1. So even though the team was fielding 2, in this instance, they acted as fielding 1 because of Boggs. So the runner goes to second with 1 out. And that'll bring up Brian Downing, the left fielder. See if he can do anything against Bruce Hurst. 42 is a 14. Now Hurst does have a Z, but with a run on second, there is no Z that can stop it, so it's going to be a walk. And it's going to put runners at first and second. So we'll go to that first and second chart for Doug DeSensei, cleanup hitter. 55, that's an 8. To Sensei against the lefties, a +1, which is going to knock Hurst down to a 12. So runner on first and second, a 12 and an 8. No, just couldn't stop it. Look at this. On the Reno boards with a runner at second, or runners at first and second, I should say. If we look at, and we said Hurst was a 13, but he's down to a 12 now because of the -1 on DeSensei. So look at 12 and come all the way down to where the 8 is. It's a blank. Had he been a 13 like he normally would be, that would have been a 26, and it would have been an infield pop-up to the second baseman. But since DeSensei is better against lefties, it ruins the, or knocks down Hurst's effectiveness. So he dropped down to a 12, and that allowed the base hit. And that's going to say one scores, other to third. So how about that? So that's where that Reno boards can really come in and make things interesting. So DeSensei with a single, and did we say the other went to second rather? With 2 outs, they would go to third, but he's only going to go to second. So Downing will stop at second, but Burleson does score, and the Angels lead it 1-0. And we stay with runners at first and second. That's what situation we have. And George Hendrick, the right fielder, twilight of his career, 31 is a 9. And again, we go to the Reno boards with a 9 there. He's a +1. That makes, again, Hurst a 12. A 12. This time 12 will stop the 9 because on the previous at bat, 12 was here for a blank on an 8, but on a 9 he dropped down to 27. He does stop that. 27 is a ground out to third with a fielding column 2. It's a 5-4-3 double play. So it's a 5-4-3 double play, and that's going to end the inning. So that one little hitch there cost them. It is a 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. Angels get 1, but they could have got a lot more, I suppose. And at the end of half an inning, it is California 1 and the Red Sox coming to bat. So leading things off for the Red Sox will be Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs, and we'll move the Reno boards back to bases empty for Mr. Boggs. 34. 34 is a 31. 31 is a fly to center. 1 away. And of course, when the results aren't 8s, 7, 8s, 9s, and 10s, then a lot of the cases you're playing pretty much the basic game. 65 is a 35. 35 is a foul out to the catcher. So he fouls out to Bob Boone. Out number 2, and that'll bring up Bill Buckner. Billy Buck. 11 for Buck is a 0. Bill Buckner. Re-roll. 44. 44 is a 1. That's gone. Home run. Bill Buckner. Home run, Bill Buckner. So Bill Buckner has tied the score. 1 swing of the bat. Angels had to go through a lot to get their run. Red Sox just needed 1 swing of the bat to get theirs. And we are tied at a run apiece. And that'll bring up Jim Rice. 33. All these doubles coming out here. It's a 6. And that's going to be a double. McCaskill does not have an M. So that means it's going to stay as a double. Rice is a -3 and make him a 16. 16. 16. He has an M here under a 16. But I'm thinking that means home run. If he has that quality, but I don't see that, so I believe that's just a double. I don't think it stops it at a single. I think it's a double. But of course the APBA veterans can let me know that. I don't have the rules in front of me, so I'm kind of playing off the cuff. So we go to runners at second base. 2 outs for Baylor. 43 is a 29. 29 is a ground out. First baseman to pitcher covering, so it's 3-1 to end the inning. And after 1 complete, we are tied at a run apiece here in Boston at Fenway. It's one of the things I wish APBA would have more is ballpark effects, but And I think I did order, when I ordered the 86 set, I did order some kind of ballpark effects, but they seemed really complicated to me. So I really never got around to figuring those out. But I suppose eventually at some point I might try to do that, if I can ever learn the actual master game, or master the master game. All right, here's Bobby Grich to start the top of the second. 36. That's a 33. To pop out the second, but the pitcher having a Y, it's a strikeout. Hurst does have that Y, so it is a strikeout. One away for Dick Schofield. 63 is a 31. That's a simple fly to center. 2 up, 2 down. Takes us to the catcher, Bob Boone. Boone. 52 is a 27. And it's a ground ball to third unless the pitcher has an X. Hurst does have the X, so it is a strikeout. So the X and the Y give Hurst 2 strikeouts he would not have normally had otherwise. And at the end of an inning and a half, it's still 1-1. And McCaskill back out. You're facing Dewey Evans to lead things off. 15 is an 8. Evans is no change against right-handers, so it stays a 13. Can a 13 stop an 8? Yes, it can. It's a 31. 31 is a fly to center. So a fly to center, 1 away. Had he been a 12 or less, that would have been a base hit, but 13 is the lowest number you can have to stop that, and he had it. So Evans is out. Brings up Rich Gedman. 63 is a 31, and that is a fly to center. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up center fielder Tony Armas. Still no Dave Henderson yet, but he is on the bench and available. But these are the as-played lineups. 15 is an 8. Armas is a -2. That makes him a 15. We already know 15 is going to stop an 8. Turns it to a 32, which turns it to a fly to right to end the inning. So nothing doing for either team in the second. We go to the third, still 1-1. And Bruce Hurst back out to face number 9 hitter Gary Pettis, who can fly. Let's put this back up where we can see it, why don't we? Pettis, 52 is a 27. 27 is a 5-3 ground out to third, but an X gets a strikeout, so there you go. Another strikeout. So Hurst now has 3 strikeouts, and that brings us to the top of the order, and Rick Burleson. 25. 25 is an 8. Burleson is a -5 against lefties, which makes Hurst an 18. And we know an 18 is going to stop an 8. Turns it to a 31, which is a fly to center. So Burleson being used because of the platoon situation, but he's actually got reverse splits according to his card. -5 against lefties, +3 against righties. So that kind of backfired a little bit. Here's Joyner. 55 for Joyner is an 8. Joyner, however, is a -9 against lefties. It's going to make him a 22. And a 22 changes an 8 to a 30, which is a fly out to left field. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the third. Still a 1-1 ball game. And Spike Owen, shortstop, number 9 hitter, is up for the Sox. 63 is a 31. 31 is a fly to center. Boy, we had a lot of fly to centers in this game. A lot of those results have come up. Here's Wade Boggs back to the top of the order. 42 is a 9. And Boggs against a righty has no change, so it's a 13. 13 versus a 9 is not going to cut it. That's a base hit. So it's a base hit for Boggs. He is aboard with 1 out. Move to the runner on first chart for Marty Barrett. 65 is a 35. And that is a foul out to the catcher. We're out number 2. He's done it twice. He's found the 35 number twice now. Both times have been fouled out to Bob Boone. Here's Buckner. He homered his first trip. Ooh, he just missed a 55 again. It's a 45, and that is a 14. And on 14, McCaskill does not have a Z, so it will be a walk. Runners at first and second now with 2 outs for Jim Rice. And Rice doubled in his last at bat. 52 is a 27. Runners on first and second. A 27 is a ground out. 5 unassisted. It would have been a double play, but that was the 3rd out already. So in this case, DeCinces steps on the bag to force Boggs. 5 unassisted. Rice technically reaches on a fielder's choice, but the inning is over. And we played 3 complete. Still 1-1 here from Fenway. And here's Bruce Hurst. He can face 29 batters. McCaskill can face 30 before they get a fatigue factor. So long way to go for that. Here's Downing. 25 is a 9. Downing is a -1, which makes him a 14. Can a 14 stop a 9? It cannot. So it is a base hit for Brian Downing. So Downing's aboard. He's no threat to steal. Most of the players here aren't. In fact, the Angels have 5 players that are slow, 2 that are fast. So not a very good base running team. DeCinces 23 is a 12, and with a fielding column of 2, which is what the White Sox are, it is a 1-6-3 double play. So another double play turned by the Sox, second one of the game. 1-6-3, going to clear the bases. Hurst to Owen to Buckner. 2 quick outs. Here's George Hendrick. 54 for Hendrick is a 32, and that's a fly to right to end the inning. I'm beginning to learn that 30s are fly to lefts, and 32s are fly to rights, and 31s are fly to center. I'm starting to get those numbers in my head, so I guess especially when I'm playing offline, I can just don't even have to look in the book. I just already automatically know what happens just based on those numbers. So here we go. Starts the bottom of the 4th. Don Baylor, 52, is a 27. And that is a 5-3 ground out unless the pitcher has an X. McCaskill has the X. It is a strikeout. And for McCaskill, that is strikeout number 1. Took him 4 innings to do it. Here's Dewey Evans. 54 is a 32. That's a fly to right, of course. I just went over that, saying and I looked at the book anyway, but I really didn't have to, just out of habit. Here's Gedman. I'm sure veteran APBA players don't even look at the book half the time because they already know what the result is. 13 is a 22. 22, we're checking the catcher in this case, and that is Boone. He's a 1-rated catcher, so it's a 2-3 ground out. Any other catcher, a 2 or 3 rated catcher, would have made an error, but it's a 2-3 ground out for Booney because we're checking just the catcher, and the Angels are fielding column 1 anyway, so it still would have been the same had we not been checking just the catcher. But if it had been a fielding team 1 with a 4-rated catcher, it would have been an error. So the team being 1 would not have helped him. All right, we go to the 5th. Hurst, 44 for Gritch, and that is an 8. Gritch is a +1, which makes Hurst a 12. 12 to an 8. He cannot stop it. He could with a 13, but not a 12. So it is a base hit. So Gritch took advantage against the lefty. And that's going to bring up Dick Schofield. 45. 45 is a 14. And with the runner at first, if he has a Z, it's 2 balls. He has that Z, so it's a 2-ball count on Schofield. And we get a 22. 22 is an 8. But Schofield's a +6 against lefties, so that drops him down to a 7. I don't think a 7's going to stop an 8. Came close. No, 7 didn't come close. 7 would have stopped a 9 or a 10. But not an 8. It's a single. Runner to second. Runner to second. If there are 2 outs, he would get third, but they're not 2 outs. So it's first and second now with nobody out. And Bob Boone, the batter. Boone could bunt. Could do a sacrifice bunt here. That's a possibility. If they wanted to go that route. Let's see. Does he want to bunt or does he want to swing away? They're going to swing away. 36. 36 is a 33. 33 is a pop out to third. Whoops, I'm on runner on first. I need to run on first and second. Run on first and second. 33 is to pop up to short. 1 away. Timeout. I got to get Tabby. She's digging into my stuff. Might even be able to hear it in the background. Okay, sorry about that. Now Gary Pettis is up. 55 for Pettis is a 9. He's a -1 against lefties. It makes him a 14. Runners on first and second. A 14 trying to stop a 9. It does not. It would have stopped an 8 or a 10, but not a 9. It's a single to fill the bases. So the bases are now loaded with only 1 out, and we're back to the top of the order and Rick Burleson. Sox will still play double play depth, try to turn their 3rd double play of the game to get out of this against Rick Burleson. 24. 24 is 13, struck him out. 2 down. That time Hurst didn't need the extra Y, he just got the 13. All right, now big spot here. Wally Joyner, 2 outs, bases loaded. 51 is an 8, but he's a -9 against lefties. Makes him a 22. 22 will definitely kill the 8. It turns it to a 32, which is a fly to right to end the inning. So that's going to end the inning after 4 1/2. We're still tied at 1 apiece. And we will go to McCaskill back on the mound to face Tony Armas. And we flip back to the bases empty chart. Whoa, 66 is a 0 for Tony Armas. So he will do something good. 25 is a 1, and he really did something good. 25 is a home run. So Tony Armas. Usually you got to get doubles the second time to hit that home run, but in this instance, he found it on a 25. So interesting the way they made his card up here. They gave him a lot of 1s. Even though he only hit 11 home runs all year, he's got home runs at 11, 15, 22, 25, 31, 33, 44, 51, 55, and 66. Boy, it's a lot of 1s for somebody that only hit 11 home runs. Very interesting there. But I don't know how they do their ratings, so I'm not going to question anything. And the Red Sox lead at 2-1. Here's Spike Owen, 36. 33, that becomes a pop up to second base, unless the pitcher has a 36, yeah, 33, pop up to second, unless the pitcher has a Y. McCaskill has an X but not a Y, so it's not a strikeout. It is a pop to second. 1 away. That'll bring up Wade Boggs. So Boston trying to get a 2-0 lead in the series. 56. 56 is a 34. 34 is a pop-up to short, unless the pitcher has a Y, which, he does not. So it's the pop-up to short's going to stand. 2 down for Marty Barrett. Marty Barrett. 35. 35 is a 14. And unless you have the double Z, it's going to be a walk. And McCaskill doesn't have any Z's. So it will be a 2-out walk to Marty Barrett. 2-out walk. Bring up Bill Buckner. Oh, 66 is a 0. So Buck has a chance to go yard again. 15. And he does it. 15 is a 1. That's a home run. Bill Buckner, his 2nd home run of the night. And the Sox have now increased their lead to 3-1. 3 solo homers have been the scoring for the Red Sox. 3 solo jacks. And I'll bring up Jim Rice. 64 is a 14. That's a walk. So that 2-out walk hurt him just before the Buckner at bat. Let's see if it does it with Don Baylor. Baylor. 26 is a 30. 30 is a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Red Sox, and we go to the 6th. It's Boston 3, California 1. And Bruce Hurst will enjoy that run support. Going to be facing the heart of the order, Downing, DeSensei, and Hendricks, numbers 3, 4, and 5. 32 is a 26. 26 is a 4-3 ground out. Easy play for Barrett. 1 away. Brings up Doug DeSensei. DeSensei walked and grounded into a double play. 61 is a 24. And he's going to ground to short, handled by Spike Owen. 2 up, 2 down. And it's George Hendrick time. Hendrick, an 11, that's a 5. A 5 with the bases empty is a double. Unless Hurst can change it to a single. Hurst with the +1 of Hendrick makes him a 12. That is not going to stop it. They're not going to change it, I should say. So it will be a double. George Hendrick, a 2-out double, brings the tying run to the plate, and Bobby Grich. 62 is a 22. 22 is a ball. Interesting on this Reno board chart. It just says ball right here under 22. So there we go. I thought ball was like, you know, having a 40 or something, 41, but 22 was a ball, so we'll redo. 24. 13 struck him out. End of the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, still 3-1, favor of Boston. The Angels in trouble and in danger of falling behind 0-2 in the series, although they will be going back home. Dwight Evans, 13 is a 14, and that's a leadoff walk. McCaskill has definitely given up some walks in this game. Not having that Z quality has really not helped him. Here's Gedman. 15. 15's an 8 for Gedman. Wow, look at Gedman. Against lefties, he's a -11. Against righties, he's +2. So the +2 turns him into an 11, an 11, and an 8. I don't know if 11 can stop an 8 with a run on first. It cannot. So runner goes to second. Gedman a single, runner to second. Evans will stop there. And the Sox have something going for Tony Armas, who homered his last time up. So McCaskill on the ropes here. And in fact, Gene Mauch's got the bullpen going. Gary Lucas, a lefty, is loosening. 45 is a 14. Runners at first and second. And with no Z at all, it's going to be a walk to load the bases. So McCaskill again, with some control issues, has loaded the bases with nobody out. And for McCaskill, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 walks. And 3 of those 4 coming in the last 2 innings. Now it's Spike Owen with the bases loaded. They're going to play the infield in, try to get the lead run at the plate. They're already down 2. They don't want to go down any further if they can avoid it. 13, and that is a 30. I'm sorry, 13 is a 14. And again, that will be a walk. He's going to load. He's going to walk a run in, and that's going to be it for McCaskill. He is done. He just lost all control, and the bases are still loaded with nobody out. And we will get a new pitcher, Gary Lucas. His name is Lucas, and he lives on the 2nd floor. And Lucas is an 11, and he's a Y and a Z. So Lucas taking over, facing Wade Boggs. Can't close the book on McCaskill until we find out what happens to these 3 base runners. Right now he's allowed 4 runs, all earned. Could be more. 25. 25 is an 8. Boggs is a -4 against lefties. Turns this to a 15. Bases loaded, a 15 to an 8 is a 31. 31 is a fly to center. Now, the Merino boards have these numbers on here, and I don't know how to play those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video, get the regular chart out, and see if it's a sack fly or not. Alright, so I had to go to the basic bases loaded board. 31 says fly out, runner holds under fielding column 1 because this is checking the center fielder, and the center fielder is Gary Pettis. He is a 3, which makes him a fielding column 1 center fielder. So they're saying that he is preventing that run from coming in. So Gedman, who's a slow runner anyway, does not score. Boggs flies to center, 1 away. Bases are still loaded. Here is Marty Barrett. Infield now is at double play depth, trying to turn 2. 52 is a 27. 27. Fielding, we're checking the third baseman in this case, I believe, which is the Sensei. And he's a fielding column 1, same as the Angels. So in a fielding column 1, it's double play. Let's see here, out at home and out at first. It's a 5-2-3 double play. 5-2-3. I don't know why they didn't go 5-4-3, but they go 5-2-3. Guess they wanted to make sure they got the out at home, and then he's out 2-3 double play. All right, so Gary Lucas came in and certainly kept his team in the game, getting out of some rough situations. Score is only 4-1, so the Angels are still in it, but just by a thread. But it very easily could have been 6 or 7-1 the way the inning was going. Good fielding by the Angels kept him in the game. All right, so we can close the book on McCaskill. He goes 5+ because he didn't get anybody out. So it's 5+ innings. And he gave up 4 runs all earned, 3 of them via the home run. So rough outing, obviously. All right, so Bruce Hurst starts the 7th. 15 is a 11 for Schofield. And 11, you're not going to stop an 11. So that's a base hit, single all the way. You got to be a 29 or 30 pitcher to stop an 11. So leadoff single for Schofield takes us to Bob Boone. So Booney. And 11, that's a 0, so Boone's going to get a base hit. It's a 12, that's an 8. So an 8 for Boone is a single, runner to second. So a single, runner to second. First 2 are on. Here's Gary Pettis. Gary Pettis. Pettis struck out and singled. He's not going to bunt. He's going to swing away. 24 is a 13. Struck him out. Maybe he should have bunted. But you're down 2, or actually down 3, so the bunt just wouldn't seem. You don't want to give up outs that way. So took the chance, didn't work. Here's Burleson. 43, and that's a 29. 29. The infield is fielding column 2. I'm sorry, the Red Sox are fielding column 2, so that means it's a double play. 1-6-3. Double play. So that's yet another double play turned by the Red Sox. 1-6-3. They double up Burleson. Third double play in 7 innings. And the Angels still stuck on that 1 run. At the bottom of the 7th. It is still 4-1. Lucas still back out there for another inning, although right-handed action is in the Angel bullpen, and it's going to be Donnie Moore. So Donnie Moore is loosening, but right now it's Buckner against Lucas, lefty on lefty. Buckner's got 2 home runs in the game. 56 is a 34. That is a pop-up to short, unless he has a Y, which he does, so it is a strikeout. 1 away. So Buckner, not so well against the lefty. Here's Jim Rice. 53 is a 15. 15 is a single to left. If the left fielder is fielding column 3, it'd be an error. Left fielder in this case is Downing. He's a 1, which means he is a fielding column 3. So it's going to be a base hit for Rice, and he's going to take second on the E7. So even though California's a fielding column 1, this is a shaded result, which means we're checking just the left fielder. Downing's a 1, means he commits the error. So an error on Downing, E7. So that'll put Rice to second base. Runner at second and 1 out for Don Baylor. 22 for Baylor is an 8. And he's a -3 against lefties, makes him a 14. 14 does stop an 8, turns it to a 28. And that is a ground up to short, runner holds. So 2 down for Dwight Evans. And Evans, uncharacteristically, is a -6 against lefties. But a 66 doesn't matter. It's a 1. That's gone. Home run. 2-run shot. Both runs are earned because the error only advanced the runner, did not allow him to get on base. So both runs are earned. And it is now a 6-1 game. 2 outs, so now the base is clear for Rich Gedman. 35 is a 36. 36 is a ball. And let's pitch at the W, which he does not have. So 1-0 count on Gedman. 15 is an 8. Gedman's a -11, which makes him a 22. 22 definitely stops the 8, turns it to a 30, which we know is a fly to left to end the inning. And that's going to be all for Lucas. He goes 2 innings and gives up 2 runs, including a homer. 4 home runs in the game for the Red Sox. And Donnie Moore will come in to pitch the 8th, even though it's a blowout. Got to get him some work because there's an off day tomorrow, so for travel. So you may as well go ahead and get an inning out of him. All right, now Hurst has faced 28 batters. He fatigues at 29, so bullpen activity for the Red Sox. Bob Stanley loosening in the Red Sox bullpen. Right now, it's going to be Hurst facing Joyner. 23 is a 12. 12 is a ground out to first. Handled by Buckner. 1 away, and with a 6-1 lead, they're going to go ahead and leave Buckner in the game. They're not even going to worry about bringing Stapleton in. Their lead is big enough. Let Buckner stay out there. 55 for Downing is an 8. He's a -1, makes Hurst a 14. 14 does stop an 8, turns it to a 30, which is a fly to left. I didn't have to look at the book that time, so I'm getting better. Hardy har, laugh, laugh. Yeah, I'm really better at this game. I'm definitely a novice at this game. Tabletop Earl's your expert. Go to him for clarifications. 13 is a 14, and that is a walk with the bases empty. You have to have 2 Z's. Hurst only has 1, so the walk will stand. And that brings up George Hendrick. And I think that's going to be it for Bruce Hurst. Fans give him a nice round of applause. He goes 7 2/3 innings. And they will turn to the sometimes maligned and beleaguered Bob Stanley. So Stanley is aboard, and Stanley is a 5 in relief, and he has a Y and a Z. All right, so Stanley is on, and he'll be facing George Hendrick. Now Hendrick is usually in there against the lefties. He's -4 against right-handers, so the Angels will counter, and they'll bring in Reggie Jackson to pinch hit. So Reggie Jackson is going to pinch hit and stay in the game to play right field. And since we're only going 1 more defensive inning, they figured the poor fielding Jackson is not going to matter. So going for offense, here's Reggie. 33, it's a 7. Reggie's a 0 change, so it's a 5. The 5's not going to change to 7. That is a pinch hit single for Reggie. So Reggie comes through with a base hit, brings up Bobby Grich. Now Grich, he will be pinch hit for by Rob Wilfong because he's not very good against righties. So Gene Mock gonna exhaust his bench here and see what he can get going on. Rob Wilfong will pinch hit and stay in the game to play second base. As I'm hitting my camera as I'm trying to ride around it. We'd love to be able to have something overhead where this thing is not in the way, but I'm not at that level yet, so I have to work with what I have. Right, here's Wilfong, 23, 12, runner at first. 12 is, with the team being the field in column 2, it is a 1-6-3 double play. How about that? Yet another one. 4th double play, I do believe. And the double plays just killed the Angels in this game. Literally killed them. So now 2 outs, base is empty for Schofield. 25 is a 9. He's a -5 against righties. Makes him a 10. Can a 10 stop a 9? I don't think so. Actually, it can. 10 turns that 9 into a 31, which is a fly to center. So Stanley definitely helped them do things right that time. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still very comfortable 6-1 lead for the Red Sox. And the aforementioned Donnie Moore is on to pitch the bottom of the 8th. Donnie Moore is a 13. And he has an X and a Z. So Donnie Moore facing Tony Armas. Tony Armas. And Armas. Actually, we're going to get a pinch hitter for Armas. So Armas is coming out. And we'll get our first look at Mr. Hindu Kendu, Dave Henderson, who's a little bit better defender at a 2 versus a 1. Plus, might as well get him in the bat just to get him some reps. So Dave, oops, wrong spot here. Where'd I go? Down here. Dave Henderson. Stay in the game, play center field, and he is a 2 rather than a 1. So it also ups their defense. Henderson, 23 is a 12. Let's ground out to first. 1 away. That'll bring up Spike Owen. Spike Owen. 13 is a 14, and that is a walk. So yet another walk. Flips the order to Wade Boggs. Boggs is 1 for 4. 13 is a 14, but he has a Z, so that's going to turn this to 2 balls. Try again. 31 is an 8. And he is a 13. Can a 13 stop an 8? Yes, it can. Turns to a 27, which becomes a double play, 5-4-3, unless the pitcher has an X, which he does, means it's a strikeout. So there is no double play. It's a strikeout instead for out number 2. So that time having the X hurt him because it could have been a double play to end the inning. But he gets a strikeout instead, and here's Marty Barrett. 36 is a 33, and that's a pop out to third. Inning's over. I'm going to put the X here, even though I probably shouldn't, but with a 6-1 lead, I'm thinking no way in the world they're going to come back from 6-1, but we'll play it out, and we're going to let Buckner stay in the game at first base. How about that? Let him stay on the field for a victory one of these, finally. So, all right, Bob Boone set to lead off, but he will not bat. He has been called back. We'll get a pinch hitter, and the pinch hitter will be Jack Howell. So Jack Howell will hit for Boone. As Boone is not a very good hitter, particularly against right-handers. So Jack Howell will pinch hit. Jack Howell leading off the inning. Against Stanley. 52 is 27. 27 is a 5-3 ground out unless the pitcher has an X. He does not. So it's simply a Boggs to Buckner ground out, 1 away. Brings up Gary Pettis. 62 is a 13. Struck him out. 2 down, 1 away from taking a 2-0 series lead for the Sox. and sending the Angels kind of bruised and battered going back to California. Here's Rick Burleson, but I don't think he's going to bat either. We're going to go to a lefty. And it's going to be Rupert Jones. So Rupert Jones is going to hit for Burleson. Rupert Jones. He will take over as the DH. Not that it's going to go to extra innings or anything like that, but figure why not give him another chance to hit. An 11, and he pays off. It's a 5, and a 5 with the bases empty is a double. Unless Stanley, let's see, he's a -1, would be a 4. Now Stanley can't stop anything. So it is a base hit for Rupert Jones, a pinch hit single. Pinch hit single. Somehow I'm into the 10th inning. I don't know how I did that. I know we only played 9 innings. Very strange. Did I play more than I was supposed to play or what? Very, very odd here. Now I'm really confused. Let me pause the video. Okay, I see the error in my ways after the pitching change. Instead of continuing here, I did it here, so that we are in the 9th. I'm not going crazy. We are in the 9th. There are 2 outs. And here's Wally Joyner, last chance to bat or to do something before the end of the game. 34, 31, 31 with the runner on first.